I wish I could mute these
Hello,
notifications.
Wilson.
Hello, B-Ron. Are we acting like
What's
this is your
going on,
first time
man?
on here? Hi. How you doing, sir? It's going good. How you doing? How's your day?
I'm doing well.
Your day is
My day is going.
your day is going? It is
You got
Tuesday. It feels
yourself a
like a
new
Wednesday.
wallaby.
I know, for courtesy of the girly. You know, I had a girlfriend.
He's spoiling you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As I should be, yes. But Lord, oh my God. I actually ran for real today. Past 2 days, I've just been running and walking because I felt so bloated I could not run. So today, I actually ran without stopping since like the big run on Saturday, that 10-miler. But today is a good day. Tomorrow, we're going to run even harder. All right, let's get into this mug. All right, guys, welcome back to the... Let's do this right. If I leave that part in, that's on you. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome to the Adoptology. Today we have my dad. Dad, say hi.
Hi.
So the purpose of this episode is to show the world what it actually means to parent a child who didn't start with you. That means to parent a child who you did not get as an infant. You know what I'm saying? A child you got like 5, 10, 15, 16, whatever age that is. This episode is to dismantle the fairy tale, but still find the beauty in the effort of just, because it's still just as hard to adopt a child at any stage, whether it's an infant, 15, 10 years old. Personally, I was adopted at 10 years old, so there was 10 years of life, 10 years of experiences that I had to completely, not forget, but shape into the next 10 years that we are in right now. And then, Dad, would you care to dive into that topic?
Yeah, I think that whenever you're adopting a child, and it doesn't matter whatever age, at any age, you have to understand and realize that there's a life before your family life together. You have to understand that, and I think as a father and a son, between me and you, I think we had specific roles that we had to play in building that relationship and in understanding that relationship, and then you know even even currently, what does it mean as adults now? How do we relate as a family members as adults?
Mm-hmm. That's real, because like most people think adoption is the beginning. It's not, but for us, it was not the beginning. It started with a whole lot of times that we were together that I had to learn a whole lot, and whole new habits, new lifestyle, new everything. I had to
Yeah,
completely relearn the way life worked in general. And we're really gonna dive into that. The story of just, well, actually, this is crazy because yesterday I did a podcast with Jackson Turkis. I can't remember. Apparently, he has a really popular family, a Christian family. Mom, Lisa Turkis. I don't know if you heard of her, but she's an author. She has a few books out. But Jackson wrote this book called "The Only Way Forward Is Back," and I thought that was pretty cool. And we're gonna actually talk about that more. It's the only way forward is back. Is to look back on your adoptee story to know why they are the way they are and how to fix them.
yeah,
That means looking back on the trauma, looking back on the PTSD and their experiences, and then to make a blueprint on how you should move forward. And this is what we're gonna dive in with this episode.
great. Let's do it.
Hi, first segment. Dad, what do you remember about me when we first met in Haiti? What did you assume I was like before we met?
What I remember about you when we first met in Haiti was when I would go down with teams, what I would do is construction at the orphanage. And so we'd be building walls, we'd be building beds, we'd be fixing doors, we'd be fixing the roof, we'd be doing all kinds of things, all kinds of projects. And what I remember most is you would be right there next to me the whole time. You would want to learn how to do things. You wanted to hold my tools. You just wanted to be right there with me and like that close to me. You didn't even give me space to do the work I needed to do. You were just wanting to be that close to me. And then we would play, after we would finish, we would play a little bit of basketball with a deflated ball and a nasty hoop
Oh yeah, I
outside
remember that.
hanging up over the driveway for the car. And then, another thing that sticks out in my memories is in the afternoons, it would get so hot and there's not air conditioning where we were. And so we could lay down on that tile porch and that wind would kind of blow through that tile porch. And I'd lay down to try to take a
Mm-hmm.
nap. And you'd lay down right there with me every single time. And we'd take a little nap together on that cool porch. That's what I remember most about you when I would visit Haiti. I think what I thought then was that you were in great need of a male figure, a fatherly figure to really cling to, and so that's what I think. Do you remember any of that?
Barely. Oh my God, I barely remember any of that. My time in Haiti. Well, the orphanage is starting to get real foggy now. You know what I'm saying? So as time goes by, it's starting to get real foggy. I do remember playing around a lot. And I do remember being in everybody's business, especially when the missionaries came down and helped with projects like you did. And I do remember hooping. I do specifically remember that basketball hoop and then dunking on it, thinking I was the stuff, even though it was only like 5 feet off the ground. But yeah, I did remember that. Okay, Dad, the next one is, were you afraid of adopting a 10-year-old with a whole history, culture, and trauma already? Like, how did you feel about that?
I don't think I was afraid of that because I didn't even know that that existed. I didn't learn that yet. I didn't realize how much history came with a child. I didn't realize how much culture came with a child. And I had no idea about the trauma that was there. And so I can't say that that's what I was afraid of because I didn't even know it was there, which I think probably made it a little easier for us to walk through those things because it was all brand new to us. But it wasn't anything I was afraid of. And I say that because I don't want people to be afraid of that. That's not something to be afraid of. But I wasn't afraid because I didn't know.
Okay, that's real. You didn't know there's not to be afraid. You weren't afraid of the unknown. I like that. That's real. Okay, so looking back, what's one thing you wish you had known about older child adoption before saying yes? So now you do know.
Before saying yes. I wish that I had spent more time diving into your family background. We did that
Mm,
after we adopted you, but I wish I had spent more time before that. I didn't realize how important that would be. I knew there was family history there. And so I think looking back, I would have dived deeper into that before you came home with us.
okay.
I think that might have helped, in part of the adjustment and understanding culturally and the family nucleus, brothers and sisters, all of those things. I think it would have helped educate me better on those things.
Cause like, did we while I was doing the adoption process? Did we ever visit my family, or did we? I know we did it after I got back to America, and but like, did we ever? Cause now that you're
We didn't
saying that, I don't think we did we?
we didn't go visit them, but they came and visited us. They brought everybody to the orphanage and we sat
Oh
on the
yeah,
front porch
oh yeah, they
and
did
we
do
took
that
a
a
lot of
few times.
pictures. There was a communication barrier. So we had
Yeah.
a difficulty carrying on that conversation, but that was pretty much the only time that we were able to do that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Cause like, huh.
Even your grandmother came at that one.
Yeah, she did. She's still alive and kicking. The Haitian
Really?
gene. Yes, yes. I'm not even gonna say nothing about your reaction because my reaction was the same way. Cause like the other day, my Haitian brother and I were exchanging pictures. Like I kept pushing the thought in the back of my mind for like years now. Like, dang, she probably gone. I haven't heard nothing about her. They're probably afraid to tell me. But no, he sent a brand new picture of her. She kicking. And she still looks the exact same that we saw her last. Like everything the same. It's just
Wow, that
wild.
Haitian gene.
That's really why I want to learn Creole. Is like I want to see history through her eyes. So I'm doing everything right now
It
to
would be
relearn all the.
amazing to hear her story.
It would be amazing. Okay, so this next one is this next segment is fatherhood after adoption, not before. Okay, Dad, did you feel like my dad right away, or did it take time?
I think that I was so proud of being able to accomplish a very hard task and to bring you to the United States that I felt like your father right away. I don't ever feel like that I wasn't. I do remember when we were in the process, of course, it took 3.5, almost 4 years in the process, that I was still calling myself your father before I was here and you were there. That was a little difficult because there were times we just had to leave you there. And still, I
Yeah,
was your dad. The paperwork said I was your dad at that
yeah.
point, but you couldn't travel back with us. And so that's where it felt weird to say, it's my son, but he's got to stay here and I have to go back. But I don't think so. I think the moment that we decided together, you and I and mom,
Yeah.
that we were going to do this, it was in that moment that my heart completely changed. Just like when your brother and sisters were born, I could just feel it in my heart. It was a complete change. Immediately, I was proud to be a dad. And I felt that exact same thing the moment you said yes. And the moment I asked you, I felt that in my heart. And it was like, okay, let's do this.
That's real. Like, I'm glad that you said that. That's a very like powerful statement because like I feel like that's the key thing adoptive parents don't do. And they don't do it till years later. You know what I'm saying? They don't do it when they first ask the kid. Like they accept the fact that their parents literally after the process is over. Like they skip key building times to learn to be the parent, to accept the fact that they be parents. They don't accept that till like years later, 3, 4 years after all the troubles and trauma, PTSD happens. I'm actually the parent. Like at that moment, yeah, that is like the perfect time to say, okay, once I'm ready to ask the kid that question, I'm ready for everything that comes with it. And then I feel like
Yeah.
that's the one thing I'm
Yeah.
trying to teach right now, trying to educate is it starts
Well, and before
there.
I asked that question,
Yeah,
it was work just with your mom and I about, are
yeah,
we going to do this? Are we stepping into this? Is this what God's calling us to do? Is Wilson going to be okay with this?
mm,
And so we did have to work through that before we got to the point that we said, uh, "Hey, this is what we want to do. Are you okay with that?"
yeah. And that's real. That's real. That's real, right? I like that. What do you think you got wrong in the beginning? Okay. We just talked about what parents did wrong and what they should have done. Like, what did you think you got wrong in the beginning? I think you did touch a little bit about it. Maybe you wanted to
Yeah,
know
and
about
we've
family
spoken
more.
a little bit about it before, but I think that in the beginning, I just assumed that you
Yeah.
would come right into the family
Mm,
already educated with how we do things.
yeah.
And that just wasn't the case. And so I wish that I had more understanding about that process before, because I think I got that part wrong.
Okay.
What
Well,
do you think
yeah.
I got wrong in the beginning?
Let me see. Let's go back to the beginning. Man. I think it was in Haiti when you guys did not give me everything I wanted.
That's what
I
I thought
dealt
you were
my
going to say.
I dealt mine 2 times when I wanted that $5,000 suit and y'all did not want to buy it on site.
You wish it was a $5,000 suit. It was probably a $25 suit.
It was a $25 suit. I think it was like $5,000, 5,000 good Haitian dollars. I think
Yeah, it was something. It was way too
that's
big for you, number one.
and then the go kart. Oh, I
You
wanted that go.
cried, you cried.
I'm like, these people don't want to give me nothing. But no, at the beginning, I feel like I don't know. There was so much that I got wrong about Haiti, about America, and how things work here. So I couldn't really, focus on what you guys were getting wrong because there was like a learning experience for everything. Like you said, you were not afraid of
It
the
was, yeah.
unknown. So you were not afraid of the unknown because you didn't know.
Well,
So
we both
that's
had
what
to make our mistakes in our growth.
yeah. So that's the really big thing that we did. I feel like I don't know because I don't know if I could say anything they wrong because I was a child at that time and there was a lot of stuff that needed to be learned. And I'm glad that it happened in the way it did in the timeline that it did, in the timeline that I was ready for it to happen. So I don't know if anything, that went wrong that went supposed to went wrong in my eyesight.
Yeah.
When did it actually start to feel like our relationship was real and not forced? I don't know. I feel like that probably was an orphanage for me.
Yeah, I think it was way back in the orphanage. I don't feel like it was ever forced. I never felt like it was ever forced. Even before we were talking adoption, I felt like there was a relationship with us and with you. None of that was ever forced.
Yeah. Okay. I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing too, because it felt really natural. I think maybe it's just our personality to get to our social family personality to just get to know everybody as fast as we can. And I think
It
that really
is, yeah.
did help out a lot in the transition with a relationship to from father to first because first we were introduced as friends, they were my friends, and then they were missionaries, and then they were my friends, and then they became my parents. That's how I saw the sequence. So it was easier to know.
It might be interesting for you to do a study with a group of people about personality types and adoptions.
Mm, okay.
Because I think you're right. I mean, it's just the and it's probably God's design, but you fit perfectly. Your personality fits perfectly into our family.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I wouldn't mind doing a study like that. How would I conduct it? Right now I'm doing a lot of stuff right now about
But just add it
people.
to your list.
I add it to my list. That wouldn't be a
Yeah.
bad idea, actually. Put that in my resume. Okay, next one, Dad.
You can do that in your doctorate.
I could do that. Actually, I'll wait for the doctorate so I can get a grade for it. Okay, this next segment is the grief no one talks about. First one, what grief do you, Dad? What grief do you carry that people might not expect an adopted dad to have?
Grief that I carry, I grieve that I wasn't there when you were born.
Uh,
I grieve that you lost your dad early on. I grieve the episodes of trauma that you experienced because as a dad, you want to always protect your kids. And I wish that I could have protected you from those things.
mm,
Even today, I feel like I fight to protect you, whether it's in decision making or whether it's in life circumstances or whether it's just by giving advice. I feel like I'm constantly on the protection mode. And so I grieve the times that I didn't get to do that for you.
Okay. Yeah, think of it like that. I like that. Let me see. How would I answer this question? Even though this is just for
Yeah.
interview today, but like, how would I answer this question? I feel like sometimes I would get jealous. I feel like this was at the very beginning. This doesn't happen now, but I would get jealous. It's like, oh, look at all these family pictures because it took years to start getting family pictures of me up in the one. I was you see all these life that you guys had before I got to America. You know what I'm saying? All these places y'all been, all this family, all these Christmases that I've missed, all these birthdays and all these vacations. I'm like, oh my God, I got to miss all of it. And the girls and Caleb would make sure that I know that I wasn't there. So that's probably one thing I was like more grieving about than anything else at the beginning. But with that being said, next question. Do you still feel guilt about not being there for my early years? Do you still feel that?
Yeah, I think that's part of the grieving process for me is the guilt about not being there for you to protect you and to
Mm,
provide for you and to fight for you when you needed somebody to fight for you. Yeah, I feel guilty about that.
well, we don't have to feel guilty about that anymore. But because we're moving forward. I feel like we've had a lot of experiences and memory. We've done a lot. We've done a lot together the past 10, 12 years. I can't remember how long it's been. About 10, 12 years that if it didn't happen at those times, it would have never happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah.
that's what we should hold on more because like we have bigger plans, bigger things coming in the future, and we have bigger things that we did in the past that are it's just like it feels good. You know what I'm saying? You get to watch me for the
Hmm.
next years coming up, and then I get to be with the family for the next years. We've been on many cruises together, many family vacations, many game nights,
We've been
movie
around the
nights.
world together.
We've been around the world together, and we could have not done that 10 years prior. So everything
No,
happened
that's
the way
right.
it was supposed to happen. And I
That's
appreciate
right.
that. Okay, the
That's right.
following one to end this segment is what should the world understand about the emotional weight adoptive parents carry, especially when no one talks about it? There's a doozy right here.
Yeah, I think if I have two responses to that.
Mm,
One is the emotional weight of wanting with all of our heart to make sure that you feel connected, that you feel part of the family, that you
mm,
don't feel left out, that you have full understanding of things going on. And it was harder in the beginning because there were things that we would do that you just had no idea because that's just what we always did. And
mm-hmm.
I never wanted you to feel left out or like a third wheel or like you weren't a part of the family. So that that's a heavy weight that I carried in the very beginning. And the second is when you adopt into a multiracial scenario,
Mm-hmm.
there is a heavy weight about, at least for me and for your mother, there is a heavy weight in regard to not wanting you to lose who you are as a part of our family without losing who you are, if that makes sense. Not wanting you to give up the fact that you're a Haitian living in an American family, and now you're a Haitian American, and not wanting to lose that history because there's a whole lot of history with that island and the people group and the culture. And I have a huge heavy weight that you don't forget those things and that you look into those things.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm definitely always looking into those things every day. I'm always making Haitian food, talking about Haitian people, doing Haitian thing. I'm on Duolingo
Hmm.
learning Haitian things. But I'm doing my part right now.
That's good.
I'm
That's
doing my
good.
part. Okay, this next segment, Dad, is love isn't control, it's presence. And the first question is, what does love actually look like when you're parenting an adoptee, especially one who doesn't always let you in?
Love is consistent. Love is always there. And so even in the hard times when I never thought that you didn't think we didn't love you.
Mm,
We may not have always agreed on everything. We may have bumped heads on things, but I don't feel like that it was ever a question as to whether or not we loved you or that you loved us. So I think love is consistency. I think it's presence. I think it's a lot of grace and learning
that's true. Let me see. What does that actually look like when you're parenting? Yeah, definitely understanding, patience, kindness, and just
because
switching
that went both
perspective.
ways.
Yeah, yeah,
That went
definitely
both
switching.
ways.
Yeah, there's a lot of patience I had to learn. There's a lot of patience I had to learn. Remember one of the main thing you would always tell me, especially you would always tell me when I was like in a hurry to do everything or like asking when is this, when is that? I was like, you were like, patience, my son.
Patience,
Eh,
grasshopper.
yes, that one too. I remember that. Patience, grasshopper. I'm like, is this from Kung Fu Panda? But but I remember that I'm like, huh. And I really took that to heart. It took a few years for me to actually like, you know what I'm saying, keep it in
It
there.
means
But like
more and
it's
more the older you get.
yo, that oh, daddy do. I'm like, Sometimes I just have to be like, patience, grasshopper. Now I'm actually gonna start saying that. I'm gonna say it to my girlfriend. She's gonna hate it.
I'm gonna find a grasshopper sticker.
Grasshopper sticker. Patience. Little crisscross applesauce. But yeah, I do remember that, and that did mean a lot. I did mean a lot, you know. Patience, thing is gonna happen. Because I remember when I first got to America, I was so impatient. I'm like, when are we gonna do this? When are we gonna go there? When is this gonna happen? When is that gonna happen? Because I did not know how time worked. I didn't know how time worked, and I didn't know America was just like Haiti. Things take time to happen. Change takes time. Learning takes time. Going places take time. I thought everything was just at a click
Oh
of a
yeah.
button here, and I had to learn
You would
that.
look up at every time there was an airplane going across the
Yeah,
sky, wondering if we were coming.
I was. I'm like, is that them? And I would wait a few hours.
Yep.
I'm like, but like that was crazy. Okay, next one. Can you remember a time when you wanted to fix me but just had to be there? There's been a lot of moments.
I think that to say the word fix means that something is broken.
Mm,
And in all true honesty and reality, we're all broken people. So
mm-hmm,
we all need to be fixed in some way or another. So I can't look at our relationship at any point in time to say, oh, Wilson is broken here. I need to help fix him. I
mm-hmm,
would never, ever put that as a part of my language or even as a part of my analysis. What I would say is there were things we had to learn.
mm,
And I had to learn just as much as you had to learn in who we are, who we were and are as a family and what that means as individuals. And so I say fix is a bad language, is not good use of that term for this relationship.
okay, I like that. I like that paradigm. I've been reading the 7 Habits of Effective People, so paradigm has
Highly
been in my
effective people.
highly effective people, and then it has been
Paradigm. You say paradigm.
paradigm. I like paradigm, but paradigm actually does sound the correct way he said it. So we're gonna go with that.
Paradigm.
Paradigm. So I do like that paradigm of yours. Yeah, everybody like to be fixed, you have to be broken. And everybody is broken in some type of ways. That's why the only way forward is back. You see, Jackson, I'm repeating your book now, so you're welcome. The only way forward is back, is to go back and look, because there's always gonna be something broken. Is to always go back when you feel lost or you don't know, is to always go back. Go back to the time where everything felt safe or everything felt wrong, and then start from there. And then like that's one thing, like I have no better way of saying it, but yeah, everybody's broken in some type of way, and then to not just look at that brokenness, but just to look at the whole person. That's a good way right there, B Rye. Okay, next one. What advice would you give adoptive dads who feel helpless when their kid is hurting?
My advice would be to remember the time when you felt helpless,
Mm,
when you were hurting, and what did it take for you to overcome that? I think of times when I felt helpless or hurting, and I just needed to be held. I needed my dad to just hold me tight against his chest. And then I felt like the world was a safer place. And I mean that physically, but I also mean that emotionally and spiritually. So going back to what was good for me when I was hurting or when I felt alone or when I felt helpless, that's what I need to provide for my children. And so that's what I need to provide for you. And so that's the advice I'd give to other fathers. You're
I
never
like
going to be
that.
perfect at it. So don't let your ego get in the way.
Do not
You
let
just have
your
to, you
ego
have to
get in the
just
way.
be consistent. Be consistent.
Be consistent and have a growth mindset. Have a
That's all you can
everything you
do.
know right now, just think it's wrong. Okay, and be ready to learn at a moment's notice. Only take wisdom with you. But that's dope. I like that. I'm gonna write that. We might get that tatted somewhere. Okay, next segment right here is legacy and hope. Okay, Dad, what do you want people to take away from our story?
I want people to take away the fact that yes, adoption is
Mm,
hard, but we are created to do hard things. We have the capability to do hard things. And so you can make it through if you are consistent, if you're
mm,
committed, if you have a faith and you love, it's going to be okay. It may not look like it, it may not feel like it, but at the end of the day, through all the trials and tribulations, at the end of the day, it's all about the relationship. And that's what has to be preserved above all else. So, what I want people to take from our conversations is it's all about relationship.
it's all about relationship. I like that. Always go back to relationships, y'all. It's relationship. All about relationship, y'all. Work on it. It is very precious. Take your time. and don't lean on your own understanding. What do you hope I carry with me when I'm a dad someday?
I hope you carry all of your experiences and you pass down all that
Mm,
wisdom and knowledge that you're gaining through this experience.
I like that. Actually, in the chapter I'm reading right now, I don't know what chapter I'm in, but right now we're discussing, he's talking about building a family mission statement and a family values. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, so I have to write down my personal values and mission statement. And he says to also uh not redo it, but like edit it every time something comes up that's just foundational or that just changes your view on the world. You always go back and change your family statement, always update it. And it's always something that's always going to be changing. And sometimes it can be a word, 3 words, or it could be 2,000 words long, but always look at it. Cause like this weekend, I was like, okay, this weekend I got in trouble. But this weekend I was like, okay, when you said about family values, I'm like, okay, so we do have our family values and we do have like our personal values. I think right now is one thing I'm trying to, like, at this age, is 22, is like one thing I'm trying to figure out is like, there's your family there's the values that I grew up on, and there's the values that I'm gonna have to build a family on, and I have to like take that, also take my own experiences from that. It's also difficult to grasp me because I have 10 years before the family too that I also have to put in my Haitian family values, culture, school, business ideas, and all of that. It's just I have to like find a way.
Orphanage, you have orphanage values that
Yeah, I have
you're
orphanage
aware.
values. Like I was like, there's your family values, orphanage values I was originally, and then there was my personal values from like my biological family. And I'm like, okay, so I have to like, I think I'm gonna later on put it all in the AI and just find out which one that works out best for me. But at the end of the day, they
It's
all,
like it's like it's like making a cake, right?
it's
It
like
takes
making a,
all those ingredients.
yeah, and that's one thing I will sit down and do. I actually have it in my Google Tasks, is to build that sometime today or this week. But we are working on that, y'all. We are working on that. Where are we? Okay, this next one is, and in your words, what does beautiful adoption actually look like?
To me, I would say it looks like a beautiful chaos.
Mm,
I think that sometimes it feels like you're in the midst of a storm, but in the end, everything is happening for a reason, and ultimately, outside of that is a growth in the relationship.
mm-hmm.
In growth, there's always pain. If you're growing your muscles, there's pain. If you're growing your distance and running, there's pain.
There
If
is.
you're growing your belly, there's pain because you're going to have to get bigger pants, right? So, in any kind of growth, there's pain, including in relationships. And that's part of the beauty of the chaos of that growth in that relationship.
Mm, I like that. Beautiful chaos. Ooh, beautiful chaos. I like that. Cause like one thing I don't like is I don't like knowing everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't like knowing everything, and I don't like too structured things. You know what I'm saying? I don't like where there's not wiggle room for like anything to happen. So I do like that, is that beautiful chaos is that everybody's trying, things are happening, but everybody's coming back at the end of the day and just loving on each other. So I do like, that's the way I view it, that beautiful chaos is like understanding, patience, growing, and just adventure. Anything can happen. Anything goes pretty much.
That's what creates the legacy. That's
Yeah.
what creates the hope. That's what brings the beauty in the commitment.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I think I might put that in my mission statement, man. A beautiful chaos. This last segment, we're gonna wrap up. It's not too late to be a good dad. That's the segment right there. And
That's true.
the first question here, be right. What's one thing you're still learning about being my dad, even today?
Being your dad at 22 is very different than being your dad at 10. And so I constantly feel like I'm in the learning process of that
Mm,
because being your dad at 22 also affects my marriage because your mom and I have to also agree on how we do this parenting as adults.
mm.
Um, because there are times when we just want to have a relationship, a friend, like a mentor. But at the same time, it's like we're still going to get onto you for things that we disagree with,
Oh
and
yeah,
that may
I know.
happen for the rest of your life, and that's okay because we're all constantly growing and
Mm.
changing, and hopefully growing and changing.
That's real. At this age, you still butt heads, twin. But I do like that. I do like to think that as a honor and as a blessing, because there's a lot of people my age in life right now who don't have parents to guide them, or at the moment they turn 18, it's just like you're on your own. Don't ask for nothing. Don't come here for nothing, and that's it. So it is good to have, even though sometimes it does get annoying, but it's good to have that structure and that constant reminder, like accountability partners in your life to make sure
Yeah.
you're going the right
Yeah.
way. So I do appreciate y'all for that, for sure. Even though at times I do be annoyed, but I do appreciate that. And I do think it's a blessing. I do think so. Okay, where are we right now? What's one thing you forgive me for, and one thing you hope I forgive you for?
There's nothing that you've done that I feel like still needs forgiveness.
Mm,
If the price has been paid, forgiveness has already happened. There's nothing left to forgive. That's just how we operate. I've been forgiven
mm,
and I forgive. There's nothing that you have done that requires any more forgiveness than has already been given.
mm,
The one thing I hope that you forgive me for is how hard I was as a dad in the beginning while y'all were younger. That is a guilt that I have that still rests with me, and that's from all four of you.
hmm.
But that is one thing that I would
Okay.
answer to that question.
Well, I do forgive you for that. Actually, I think the day I did forgive you for that was, let me see. I think it was I think it was a few summers ago, 3, 4 years ago. Was when I was like chilling in the couch, and then me and my mom was chilling, and and then you were like in the office, and I'm like, what is he always in that office for? Because I'm like, you always disappear at a certain time in the office. I'm like, what is he in the office for? And mom was like, oh yeah, he's doing counseling. I'm like, what could this man need a counseling for? And then it dawned on me, and I'm like, because at that time you were starting to get like your mental and your attitude and your anger started going down. I'm like, okay, that must be why. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna let go of all the grudges right there, because he's actually doing something to help himself and help the family. And that's when I really did forgive you. And I actually forgive myself for holding all those grudges and, all those pain inside of me. And that's why, okay, if he's getting better, I need to get better. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not one of those people that likes to harp on people when they're trying to get better. I've never been like that. If I see effort, if I see this happening, I will forget everything else that happened in the past. Like I will forget. I don't know if that's a problem that I have, but like if I see effort, I will never hold back anything that's happened. Like that's one of the things I've always been good about doing. But I do. That's when my forgiveness happened. So you've been forgiven. I don't even remember those times anymore. So with all being
Yeah,
said,
it took a year of therapy to work through some of my
hmm,
stuff to get over those things.
yeah, and I do appreciate that, and I'm grateful for that, twin. Good job. Okay, so
Well,
this last
adoption didn't make us perfect, Wilson. It made us a family.
in
It's
the
all about the
process.
process.
Amen. Well, I was gonna say that, but you said it, so that's good. I don't have to do it. Adoption didn't make it perfect. All right, y'all. Build that family on relationship, trust, understanding. Understanding is a very key word right there. Putting yourself in their perspective. It's hard to, but training helps. All right, bonus one actually. Bonus one, Dad, is very short. Myth or fact? Very many. I don't even know why they put mini segment. This is already just one question. Make or fat, Dad. Older kids can't bond with adopted parents. What's your take on this?
That's a myth.
That is very much a myth,
You
yeah.
you can choose to bond with whomever you choose to bond with. If that was the truth, we wouldn't be able to bond with anybody as adults.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can definitely bond with your adopted parents, even as an older kid. It takes work. It's not easy. Um, and it takes consistency, but it is possible and it does happen.
That is true. It takes time and consistency. Everything you just said. Do not go in or thinking they just gonna understand you. Do not do that, twin. Go in with the mindset that it's new for everybody and it's time for growing. And this is a baby. This is a baby. This is your baby. And then you got to take care of your baby. You would not give your baby driver's license off the rip. So don't do it to any kid, no matter what age you get them at. Trust, build that understanding, and build that love. But yeah, with all that being said, that is it for the day, y'all. Please share this episode to anybody who might need to hear it or need to a new perspective on things, or it just feels lost. Or if you need this is also for you too. And with that being said, Dad, would you like to say anything?
I needed it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you too. Okay, Dad. Goodbye, Adaptology.
Bye.
Peace.